The most practical advice that I want to give about willingness is to normalize the pain. When you have a conversation with pain, say, "Dear pain, I'm choosing to be friends with you." Why? Whatever that we have, we want to put them all together. Why? The way that I look at life, it's to me, it's play.
Welcome, everyone. Today's episode, I'm speaking with Dr. Shiny Burcu Unsal, and she is the creator of Neuroshine Technology. For anyone who's new to the show, What If It's Possible is a podcast. It's a show where we're going to be exploring the ideas, stories, conversations that really stretch what we believe about healing, about humanity, about consciousness, creativity, relationships, and the future that we are all here to build. So it's a show for anyone who has ever looked at their life or the world around them and wondered, what if there's another way? And today's conversation with Shiny is going to dive really, really deep in so many different directions into that, because Dr. Shiny here has lived the story of reinvention herself. She's gone through grief, courage, devotion to human potential, and she's built a whole global career around coaching, teaching, and creating her own transformational methodology, coming from a huge background in advertising for brands like Coca-Cola, Audi, moving into coaching, which is two vast worlds I want to dive into with you, which is so interesting.
Yeah.
And what I love so specifically, Shiny, is like what she does is she's brought together neuroscience, coaching, as well as emotional intelligence and communication all into one whole program that helps other people, enable them to help other people as well. So it's literally a ripple effect in your business and in what you're doing itself. So it's very meta in that way. So
Right.
I guess just to kick us off, hello, Shiny. Welcome.
Hello.
So glad to have you here.
Jimmy, nice to see you.
Yeah. So some background for some people that don't know, I met Shiny at a conference for my work back when I was working at Kajabi. And we met, and for some reason we just clicked. And it was very peculiar the way we met. It was very like
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't talking to anyone. We just got brought together somehow. And about, I want to say maybe 6 months later, I ended up joining Shiny's program. So I'm actually a student that went through Shiny's program. So I can speak, I know all the ins and outs of her program. But I think one of the first questions that comes to mind is like, maybe if you want to share a little bit about what it is that your program does and what you do now, like just
Yeah.
from your own mouth. Like I would love for you to
Yeah.
describe what it is so people know who they're listening to, who they're watching right now.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. It just brings back so much joy and smile to my face to go back to that conference where we met. It was absolutely epic encounter. So, hello everyone. This is Shiny. And if you're wondering if Shiny is my real name, because that is always the question I get, it is my real name. I changed it. I actually owned it as my first name. My Turkish name remains Burcu, and then I go with Shiny because it represents my mission, my soul's mission to create enlightenment through my Neuroshine technology. As Jimmy mentioned, it is a multidisciplinary approach to life. And I started everything as a soul searching journey. I didn't know I was going to end up creating Neuroshine technology. When I burned my boats, like Tony Robbins would say, in 2010 and left my corporate background, advertising and marketing background in Istanbul, and decided to just go on a soul searching journey and moved all the way across the globe and to Los Angeles, I just didn't even have a place to stay. I only had a training to go. I literally paid for it and I was looking forward to it. And that was the training for neurolinguistic programming. If any one of you is familiar with neurolinguistic programming, you know the power of it. If you don't know anything about it, you definitely want to look it up, because that literally what transformed me inside out. And one thing led to another. I became a certified coach in October of 2010. Then I became an NLP master practitioner. I wanted to learn more. I wanted to become the trainer of neurolinguistic programming because there was something so unique about it that was about how we process information. And I followed my path. Just one step after another came Tony Robbins, Dr. Richard Bandler, neuroscience, Kabbalah, metaphysics, quantum physics, leadership communication strategies, and emotional intelligence that I actually created as my curriculums at UCLA Extension, because I'm also a faculty member at UCLA. And then I ended up realizing that it is all taking us to the same place, to heart. So, and then I discovered HeartMath, the heart science, and then I also included that. And because I happen to be very cosmic galactic, so I also included cosmology. And then in the year of 2015, I realized I created my Neuroshine technology. This was literally me trying to understand life, trying to look at what I want, what my passion was, what I wanted to do with my life. And then I realized, oh, that's exactly what I want to do with my life. So fast forward in 2025, he actually had Jimmy go through my program. And then now by 2026, I have students and certified coaches in more than 55 countries. So it is my soul's mission. And then I love it. And it is the end goal is the conscious evolution. And obviously, shine is the cosmic light that I talk about. And that shininess is all about taking your cosmic light and then bringing it to life, becoming one with it. Therefore, it's not something separate outside of you. You are it and you become it. And when you merge with it, when you carry it as a coach, as a human being, you make the world a better place. That's the end of the whole story.
That's beautiful because I think the root of it is just touching on what you just said. That light, when you bring lightness to every conversation, I notice this within myself. Like when I go to the grocery store and I show up with that light and that joy and that just feeling of positivity, that feeling of goodness, I notice how it really echoes out to everyone and they echo it back to me.
Right?
And it's, yeah, and it's an amazing
Yeah.
thing. Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. From what you were describing, I just want to summarize it. You really trusted the process.
I
You
did.
dove in head first and just went for it. And it sounds like you followed things that excited you, that you were curious about all throughout that process. And
Correct.
in that process, you found purpose and you continue to lead a life of purpose through trust, excitement, and your light. Is that a
That's
good,
true.
like a
That's a
breakdown
very
of like
good
your
summary.
process? Okay.
Exactly. Because, the idea is I was exactly looking for that. Like, what is my purpose in life? In the corporate world, a lot of people, we question this. Like, we are working, but what is the purpose? Like, what am I doing with my life? That was my question back then in 2010. And then I just wanted to do something different, following Einstein's, statement about if you keep doing the same thing but expecting different results, that's insanity. And then I'm like, gotta do something different. And so I just followed my dream because living in Los Angeles, California, in Beverly Hills was my childhood dream. So I actually followed my dream to find my purpose, and then following my purpose became my purpose.
Well, isn't that it's so simple how that works. It's like people ask, "Oh, how do I live a more purposeful life?" Like, "Oh, try to follow something that feels purposeful
Yep.
to you." Like it should just
Yep.
feel purposeful. It's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
how do I like live a happy life?" Oh, like just spend every day doing something that makes you happy. You know?
The
It's I feel like
Yeah.
it's that simple. Uh
So true.
so it sounds like the heart of everything that you do, people like Tony Robbins, it's around NLP is like the core. A lot of people started off with NLP, neuro linguistic programming. If you had to describe it to like a 12-year-old and what you understand about it now, like what would you let people know of like how powerful this is and like how transformational it can be?
Absolutely. I have an analogy for that. So imagine three oranges to understand neurolinguistic programming. Three oranges. The first one is the neural. It's about your brain, your nervous system, neural. The second orange is about linguistic, your language patterns, how you use words, what they mean to you, and how they are actually embedded some place deeper inside your childhood and your conditioning. And then the third orange is the programming part. That's where it gets very exciting because in the world of AI and automation, we realize our own patterns and our own automation, our own programming that we didn't even know. So when you put all these three oranges together, and then when you just squeeze them all, you get an LP. That's the orange juice.
That's some good juice. Thank you so much. That was probably the first time I've heard it described in such a visual a way that I can like wrap my head fully around it. A true
Yep.
teacher, a true teacher. Uh, so after since the first time you discovered NLP and to this current moment, how many students and people have you trained at this point?
Oh my God. I can't even count. I mean, there are thousands of people I trained, okay?
Yeah.
Including my corporate training programs, my digital programs, my in-person trainings,
Right.
my speaking, and all it's thousands. And when it comes to my specific Neuroshine technology, I have a number for that, and that is more than 500 certified Neuroshine technology coaches.
Congrats. And each of those people, they all also influence hundreds, thousands, like dozens, hundreds, thousands of people throughout their life,
Exactly.
which is very
Yes.
wild, Shiny. It's really
Yes.
unbelievable. Congratulations.
Well,
Very great work.
thank you. And that's exactly how I feel. You get it because it's the ripple effect. It's just we were just expanding the light of consciousness altogether. When I share it and then you share it and then people you shared with share with other people, that's it. You know? That's how we
Yeah.
change the world. Be the change you want to see in the world.
It's that simple. Again, that simple. For the thousands of people that you've worked with, that you've trained, what's the pattern that you see across cultures that most people don't expect that NLP helps them unlock or your program helps them unlock? And what does it lead? What is the outcome? How does it change their life? Just so I think the audience might be curious what this means for them, the before and
Yeah.
after.
I'll tell you what, including myself, the most shocking part of my program is to invite everyone to become aware and accept the automated, what I call the victim bugs, the victim operating system bugs. That's the most shocking one because we don't want to look at ourselves as something less than perfect, less than amazing. We want to look at ourselves, oh, I'm good. I'm a good person. You know, Yes, and we also have automated, programmed, conditioned, deeply rooted patterns that we are not even aware. And then they show up as victim patterns. Whenever we react to something, whenever we go into defense and offense, whenever we are people pleasing, we are hiding our truths, whenever we are avoiding something, avoiding that difficult conversation, those are all deeply rooted patterns. And then those are victim patterns. And as long as we do the work and then we look in the mirror and then we become aware and we accept, you will remember, Jimmy, I do have this formula for change. Awareness multiplied by willingness equals change. Why there's multiplier? Because if there's no awareness, no matter what you do, you won't create the change. You got to become aware of your blind spots. So that's the whole idea. And then if you're aware, that might be somebody, oh, yeah, I know, I have those things. It's just me. So that doesn't multiply with the action step, the willingness to change it. There's still no change. So that is the part that is the most shocking because it needs to come with a lot of self love and self acceptance. Yes, I do have these patterns and then I really can change them. There, that's the biggest part that I have been seeing for all of these years. That is the hardest part, actually, and the most transformational part.
Thank you for saying that because I think sometimes we don't realize how deep a core belief comes from, where it's oblivious to us that we actually can change something or that we are in a situation where we are a victim. No one thinks that they're a victim. And that's the
No
most
one.
interesting part.
Yeah, yeah. We, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want to
And there's
believe in
different,
it.
yeah. And I think that's maybe something that people listening, watching can really shake up is like, where in your life are you externalizing your power or allowing yourself to be a victim? And it might not be your whole life as a victim, but maybe there's small parts in your life
Hmm.
where you're a victim. Are there certain methods that you help people to uncover this? That like, how does someone who doesn't know, doesn't have the awareness, create that awareness
Yeah. I mean,
for
it's
step
super
one, for
easy.
one part of the formula?
So it's super easy. The awareness and willingness, if we apply it, let's say you're having a conversation with someone and you have the intentions. Intention needs to be there, right? So where the attention goes, energy flows. We know that. And attention also follows intention. So if we have the intention to become aware of our attention, that's where awareness actually happens. So if you have the intention, okay, today I'm going to watch if I have any victim patterns. So if you have that intention, then you can go into your conversations and then you can observe yourself. So in quantum physics, there is something called the observer effect. So when you observe yourself, your own patterns, then you are not your patterns, you are the observer of them. And that's where the consciousness expands. So with the intention to observe your own behaviors and language patterns, what happens is you become aware. You say, my goodness, this person said something and it just annoyed me so much. And I ended up reacting with anger. So if anything is making you react to anything else, you're the victim. That's
Uh,
as easy as that. If you are reacting but not responding, you're the victim. End of the story, unfortunately.
you, and this is like any type of trigger essentially
Uh-huh.
creates a reaction. And what
Mm-hmm.
about people who get triggered but they don't react at all, don't respond to it, just kind of ignore things, like brush it off? Is this also a victim pattern, or is it all like, does it have to be a reaction specifically?
That is also a reaction. The reaction shows up
Oh.
as avoidance. That's also a
Yes,
reaction.
inaction is also an action, they say, right?
Because, remember, in the brain, let me just grab the brain. So let's
Grab the brain.
do a little lecture here. So
Let's take a look.
there is a part in our brain, it's called amygdala. Okay. Amygdala is a very old reptilian part of the brain that is the fear center almost. It's about survival. So because amygdala is the head command, like fear and survival center, it has 4 functions. The first function is fight. So when there's a threat, you react. Why? Because you are fighting with it, right? So you fight. That's the first thing. The second F is the freeze. Okay. So when
Yeah.
you feel like, okay, I'm not doing anything. So that's still a reaction, but it looks different. It's the freeze. You're frozen. You can't even process it. And the third one is the flight. So fight, flight, freeze, right? The third one is like flight. You literally just run away. You leave the room because you can't handle it. Your nervous system is not capable of handling that conversation. So you leave the conversation, and that is flight. And then the fourth one is fall. That's a system shutdown. When you faint, and there's
Yeah.
too heavy for your entire nervous system, that's the fourth F. And that's the fall. So fight, flight, freeze, fall, those are all amygdala's way of reacting to the outside threat, because amygdala is scanning the environment 6 times a second. 6 times a second. It's a lot, okay? And everything can be a threat. And if what you are hearing from others is a threat to your nervous system, you're going to react. And that is the fastest way to understand your victim patterns.
Wow. Okay. So now that people are aware with this method, which is fantastic, it's very tactical. I appreciate that. What is the willingness piece? What needs to happen in order for people to become more willing? And most people think that they are very proactive, by the way. They
Mm-hmm,
think that
mm-hmm.
they're doing the most that they can, the best that they
Yeah.
can. And that's where self-sabotage, avoidance, all those things come up without people realizing. So how do people really empower their willingness now? Well, what would you suggest, or what's like the methodology here?
So the most practical advice that I want to give about willingness is to normalize the pain.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So that's again neuroscience. So we're coming to amygdala again. Amygdala has a way to look at threats in 2 ways. I'm going to run away from pain, or I'm going to run towards pleasure. And because we are conditioned to run from pain because it's painful, who wants to experience pain? We are conditioned to seek pleasure. And that's why addiction is there. That's why alcohol is there. Sex is there. Drugs is there. All of the like workaholic, it's all there because we are seeking pleasure to run away from the pain. What we are missing is pain is not that bad. Just
Mm.
go through the pain. When you have a conversation with pain, say, "Dear pain, I'm choosing to be friends with you because I know you want the best for me. And I am allowing you to go through me, my nervous system, so that you clean up the mess. You clean up the clutter, the mental clutter, the emotional clutter, whatever the patterns, the rooted victim bugs in my language, you just clean it up. I'll just surrender. It's going to be painful, but I will find the joy in the pain. That's the willingness. We're never taught this practical way of going through life. We are always taught to avoid the pain. I am inviting all of us to become adults and to accept that some of the decisions are going to be painful. We're going to have to sit with it. We're going to have to accept it, mature up, and be okay with it. Just normalize and become friends with the pain to increase your willingness.
Yeah. It's counterintuitive, right? It feels counterintuitive, but
Definitely.
something that I used to embody and something I include in like my programs is if you are someone who constantly is used to going left, like turning left, and that's like your
Mm,
process, you need to try to turn right because you're like, it's what you said earlier. When you repeat the same thing and expect a different outcome, it's not possible. You got to do something different, expand, change things. Like you moved across the world to do something completely different, right?
exactly.
And look
Yeah,
where it's led you, right? And that's the part of the
exactly.
process. It wasn't easy, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Oh my God. Can you imagine like coming to a world across the globe that you know nothing about? I mean, obviously, I was a student at UCLA. I had those years, but it was not my environment. I had a decade of corporate network over there, and then I left. It's just like jumping into the ocean of unknown and being okay with it. And that is the problem that I see in the world. People are so afraid of the unknown. Unknown is where the magic happens. If you keep doing the same things, you're going to get exactly the same thing back. you know?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I also am not the only one. You know the story with me and my mom. I actually transformed my mom and it happened after the age of 60. So perhaps some of your audience right now is listening and then they were like, oh, I'm 50, I'm 60, I'm something. You have no excuse. Like I have clinical proven results with my mom. She's absolutely transformed. She's speaking cosmic language with me right now. She started with, don't tell me what to do. It's my traditions. Like, no, I don't get it. You're this, you're wrong. Two, like now she's teaching my Neuroshine technology in my hometown. Like she's the
Yeah.
biggest fan ever.
And just to clarify for the audience, what was it that you did with your mom specifically that led to this?
What I did with my mom is over 13 years so far. But basically, she went from the biggest judger of my life. Like she judged me. She didn't accept me. She didn't understand me. She kept telling me, where do you think you're going again? And I'm like, get out of my way, mom. Like, I don't need your permission. When I was leaving, Istanbul for the third time, she was like, where do you
Mm.
think you're going? Like, she didn't have that support because she didn't have the vision that I had. She was small in her thinking. She was, again, fear based. When you make your decisions fear based, you want to protect. You want to keep your loved ones in a small box. You want to tell them what to do. You bring your own traditional thinking, your fixed way of looking at life, and then you want to just, like, your intention is like, oh, I'm protecting you. But what's really going on is you're controlling them. So my mom was this controlling and she didn't mean to. Like if you talk to your mom today, she's gonna tell you things, but she's in her way, she's protecting you.
Right.
she doesn't know, right? So that's what we all do with each other. And that's why understanding it can take sometimes a decade. Okay. I have been doing this for like, I read the first NLP book in 2003. 2003. Okay. I went through the training in 2009 and 10, and after that, forever. But it's a long journey because we have been conditioned. So, what I did with my mom, I deconditioned her 60 years of programming and traditional and controlling and then fixed and judgmental way of looking at life. And then I turned her around to most open, loving, and spacious human being ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you get her to be willing? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like
I
everyone
know,
has
right?
parents that judge them, and like, how do you get the parents to move from their positioning and let go of their beliefs like that? It's really impressive because it's really difficult for a lot of people to let go of their beliefs.
Super, yeah, super hard. I'll tell you, uh, Jimmy, I left Istanbul in 2010, and my mom doesn't even live in Istanbul. She lives in my hometown in the Mediterranean coast. And she couldn't care less what I was doing until 2013. For 3 years, she didn't care. So what happened was in 2013, I hit a moment of like realization because she was also suffering with her own mental world. And then I said, I can help you. And then I sent her a ticket. She came to LA. And because she had her own suffering that she wanted to just, break through. Okay. So she was somewhat willing to try something because I hit her from her top value. She's a teacher. She's a retired teacher. And then I started teaching at a top university at University of California in Los Angeles. And she was like, she didn't believe me, Jimmy. She didn't believe me. I told her I started teaching. No, it's not possible. That's how much judgmental she was. Like she didn't think I could achieve those things. And that's why I said, here's your flight ticket. Come over and see me. She came,
Hmm.
she saw me. She saw me at the Westwood campus, and then she was like blown away. It was her first time in Los Angeles or United States ever. And she was like, oh my God, this is like beyond my dreams. Like, what did you do? And then I took her to Santa Monica Pier, and then I made her play the whack-a-mole game. And then I said, listen, we're going to play a game with you. Okay. Whatever you're going through, because she just literally needed to let go of the control. And my father passed away right next to her. Okay. So she was suffering a lot up until then. She just wasn't able to let go of her own guilt. She always had those things in her brain that, I could have done something or whatever, the story that she said. And then I said, now think of your stories. Think of all those stories like these creatures here. Every time they pop, you're going to smash. Every time they pop, you're going to smash. And then I literally conditioned her brain to stay with that thought. And then we did it again and again and again. And then after this, and then it was super fun too, right? So that's how you trick amygdala. You give something that has pleasure and it is avoiding the pain in a pleasurable way. And then she loved it so much that we started applying the same principle in everyday behaviors that she has. For example, every time she called me and she couldn't reach, she would panic. And then I
Yeah.
said, just smash it. And then every time she would say something and she would panic, I was like, smash it. Remember the game. So I gave her a practical tool, and that's what made her believe it. She experienced it herself. And then after that, and then she also saw me teaching at UCLA at that campus that was so big and is so like beyond anything that she's ever dreamed. She was like, you know what? I'm going to study whatever that you're going to teach me. I'm ready. And then since then, she has been my biggest student, always attending, always learning. And that's what it took from her.
It's beautiful. It's honestly, to hear someone, there used to be these ideas that I've heard in the world I thought were absolutely true. Like
Mm,
this idea that an old dog can't learn new tricks, just like that
yeah.
saying, right? And it
Yeah.
seems like it makes sense, but I don't know if that's actually true now. Now that where I'm at
Mhm.
now, I'm like 37, and I feel like the capability that we have to change ourselves, we all can change ourselves, I think, in every part of our life. It might be a little bit more challenging at certain like at a certain age, but it's not as hard as people say it is, essentially. If we just allow ourselves to open our minds, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And then again, I want to invite everyone to look at the linguistic patterns, right? Like neurolinguistic, that's the root of everything that I created with my neuroshine technology. I'm always going to be forever grateful for Dr. Richard Bandler, okay, because I'm his licensed trainer as an NLP trainer, and everything started with NLP with me. And when you look at the word, like it's not that hard. It is hard, and that's okay. It's because
Mm,
it's not easy, because it's something that you are not you're not doing every day. So it's different. And because it's different, you don't have that automation. Okay. So because you don't have that automation, you need to decondition and recondition, and then you need to just create a habit out of it. It's gonna feel different. You may not like it. You may say it's hard, it's painful, and that has to be okay. The way that we relate to hardship, the way that we relate to pain and struggle has to change. The
mm,
meaning we attach to doing things easy. No, if it was easy, everybody would do it. That's the game of life. That's the game we're playing. Let's have fun.
yeah, I think it's associations. It's
Mhm.
what's the difference between going to the gym and someone who thinks that, "Oh, this, like, sucks," like, working out, like, "This is hard,"
I
and then
know.
someone who goes to the gym that feels when they work out, they're like, "Oh, this is great, like, I feel alive," right?
Yeah.
And it's the same
Yeah.
sensations that they're both feeling, but it's the
Exactly.
association that we create with it, and I think that's with everything. It's
It,
about associations, about what we believe it
yeah,
should be, you know?
exactly. But that is just one way of looking at it. The physics, the quantum physics doesn't work that way. There are infinite ways of doing things. There are infinite possibilities in the universe. Just because you are choosing one because you just believe that is the one, it's just not the only way. It's just
Uh,
not scientific to begin with. Like I am very scientific. I'm a mind scientist. I have done 2 doctorates in addition to NLP, and then teaching my leadership programs or emotional intelligence programs, or achieving my master certified coach credential from ICF after 3,000 hours of coaching. Like, I do
mm,
a lot. And so that's why the way that I look at life, it's to me, it's play, it's fun. So if I was looking at everything like that's hard, how was I going to achieve everything? How? It's because I look at it as fun. Ooh, let me just do that because I want to become that. And that is why I always bust my own assumptions as well. I want to become the role model so that I can just leave something behind with my neuroshine technology being my legacy. I think about all the like big picture when I pass to the other side, the
mm,
multi-dimensional universe. I look at what I do as my legacy because I am this avatar in this human outfit. And when I observe myself, what is Dr. Shiny Persona doing now? What is she going to do in her lifetime on this planet Earth? What is she all about? I always come from that such high perspective, and that perspective always shatters the limitations and the ones that I see as hard. It's like some others are doing it. Like, what is hard? Let's just do it. And so that's another way that I want to give everybody as a tool to just like rise above, because if you are in your day, you cannot see the big picture. Like, get out of it, look at it from a higher perspective. And if you were, here is the question you can ask. If you are the universe, what would you want you to do?
mm. That is very thought provoking.
I know. I know. Yeah.
Mm, mm. So maybe we can play just a quick game here.
Sure.
If you want to actually showcase the power of the coaching process
Mhm.
that you teach people to facilitate on others. What is like something that like how can you illustrate it right now so that the audience kind of gets a sense of like what this actually looks like? Because I think for many people, they're so accustomed to talk therapy and
Yeah.
coaching. From my background before this, my experience with coaching, people told me that coaching was a scam, and I believed that.
Oh my god.
And there's a huge community of people of like they're like, "Oh, yeah, coaches are grifters. Like they're not certified with anything. Like they're not, you
Mm.
know." And I really want to sh- break that myth for everyone watching, listening right now because I know the power of it after going through it myself and trying it. And I was like,
No.
and how it had a huge effect on my life. So, what is something like how can we illustrate the process of it or how it can lead people to transformation? I just want to kind of show in some way with you if you're open to that.
Absolutely. So
Mhm.
perhaps you can think of an agenda and then I can just, ask you a few powerful questions, a few powerful coaching questions here as a demonstration just for 5 minutes. We can play with it. And as you are thinking of that agenda, I also want to clarify something for everyone because what you said is huge. You said coaching was a scam, right? So I want to
Right.
talk about that. That is that it's important for me. Why? Because coaching is not a regulated industry. Even to become a real estate agent, you need to go study and get a license, right? So that's why nobody is going to say realtors or real estate is a scam. No. There's actually regulation. You have to go through something, a process and prove yourself to be worthy of it. So
Uh,
because the industry of coaching is not regulated, actually it is the entire world. In my own home country, Turkish government requires you to receive the license to operate as a coach, especially if you're going to work with the government. It's the same
uh,
in Russia or some very unique countries, okay? But most of the world, the majority of the world, this industry, coaching industry is not regulated. And because of that, there is a global institution, which you know very well, the International Coaching Federation, ICF. And ICF is the global organization that solves exactly this problem. Because there is this belief outside coaching is a scam, everybody is a coach, or what is it? There are scientific $1 million research results that are applied to the industry, the science of coaching. That's what we do with the ICF accredited programs. And that is what Jimmy has gone through because he knows the difference. He's not going to go get his education from this outside like school on the street, right? He knows. So you want to go with an international coaching accreditation program. You need to go with an ICF accredited program because that program is going to have the code of ethics, the gold standards, and the whole industry knowledge, the community that you need to know about. And you graduate, you need to demonstrate your skills. You need to collect at least 100 hours of coaching practice. And then you actually need to prove that you have the skills to coach someone and then to make a difference on them. That is the performance evaluation. There's a whole structure that you need to go through to earn the credential. There's the earning here. So you become worthy to coach somebody because that is such an important thing to do with someone. They are opening up their heart. They're opening up their sacred topics with you. And then you need to have the skills, especially the ethical mindset to work with them. So I want to just make that distinction because my Neuroshine Technology Academy of Neuroshine Technology as an organization is fully ICF accredited. So I teach coaching at the gold standard level. There's nothing better or more gold standard than that in the entire planet. And so now that I explained this, we can go and do the exercise, illustrate if
Thank
you're
you for
ready.
setting the record straight. I'm ready. I thank you for setting the record straight because I hear people say that. I feel like there is this misconception about it, and I experience how much transformation I experience, and everyone I worked with has experienced as well through coaching. So I just wanted to put that out there and cleanse that space because it's clear now. Yeah,
Yeah.
we can do that. Okay, how would you start us off for
So
this?
the way that I teach coaching, I do have my checklist, everyone. Okay. So that checklist is actually giving everyone a structure. Again, in the checklist, you just follow this not a script, but little like a checklist, what to do. Like it's important for you to establish the agreements before you start any coaching conversation. So because we don't have all the time that we want in the world, we're just going to have a 5-minute demonstration of coaching only asking questions. So I'm not going to go into the details. So that's again another clarification. I wouldn't do my coaching like this, or I wouldn't teach my coaching like this. But because of the time, I'm just going to ask him about, okay, Jimmy, what do you have in your agenda that you would like clarity on? I'm just going to ask him that question, and then we're just going to go with it, and then you're going to see what's going to happen. Is that good?
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
great to me.
All right. So, what do you have in mind?
Wow. Now that you're asking me, I'm like, what is something that's on my agenda?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, I think it's clarity. I'm looking for clarity on the projects that I feel most excited by to explore for my
Hmm.
life that maybe I've been avoiding because I'm
Okay.
afraid. Yeah.
Oh. Mm. All right. Well, first of all, thank you for acknowledging that there is fear, right? Like you said, you're
Yeah.
afraid.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a big awareness right there. That's right there, a big awareness. And because you said you have projects, which one would you like to talk about? Because we only are going to do this for 5 minutes. And obviously, you want to get the clarity out of it. What is it specifically that we can talk about?
There is one area that
Hmm,
has just come to my attention
hmm.
of a potential career and like work path that I've never really allowed myself to pursue.
Ooh.
And I think perhaps it's out of fear or old beliefs. And it is art, like for like making money from art.
Ooh.
And
Mm.
right. And it's completely different. And it was just something that have been asking myself. And I've always done technology. I love business. These are all things I really enjoy doing, like genuinely speaking, like coaching. I enjoy
Mm-hmm.
helping people, right? And I've always,
Mm-hmm.
and even my old job at Kajabi, like I loved
Yeah.
that job. Like there's parts of it I loved. And art is something that I have not actually ever explored myself,
Mm.
but it's something that I have been interested in since I was like 2 years old. I've
Ooh.
realized and I
Mm.
forgot about that I've always done that. And all throughout my life, like literally all throughout my life, I've been in art school, like art classes, like it's been a part of my life, like my whole life.
Wow.
And so now it's a question that has come to my mind of, wait, have I not been exploring this because all the other options seem more realistic, quote, quote?
Mm. Mm.
And so that's an agenda item that I've been curious to explore with myself that I haven't actually had a
Mm.
chance to dive deep into. So maybe
Okay.
this is a real thing that's on my plate right now. So
Yeah, it's gotta be real. I'm glad it is real. And it sounds super exciting, especially looking at your face. Have you felt the energy shift even when you brought the topic of art? Have you noticed the difference
yes.
in your physiology?
Yes. And this has been the curious part that I've been really diving into is that as soon like when I think of art, like I'm getting chill, like when I think of art and pursuing like this idea of art in general, it is something that I'm like ecstatic about. And in everything
Mm-hmm.
that I've done, even coaching there's like artistry in it. Like you kind of have to design, you have to be creative with who you're talking to when you
Mm-hmm.
understand what I don't want to give everything away like with how your coaching works, but when you understand their problem that they can't see, let's just say that they're unaware
Yeah.
of, you kind of have to get creative to figure out, okay, how do I get them to understand without me saying it, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
That's the art.
that's the
Yeah.
art, and so I think it's just the creativity piece that I really
Mm. Mm.
enjoy with everything that I do in my life. So that's yeah, I do feel that, but I also feel this excitement for a lot of other things. right? Like
Mhm.
a lot of other projects that I'm working on that also are creative in some way, in some fashion. So that's where
Mm.
I'm at right now. Like, how do
Okay.
I uh,
Okay.
uncover my truth? I've been trying to meditate on, but I haven't really gotten anywhere with it. So here we are.
Here we are. Here we are. Art and creativity is what I'm hearing from you. And I'm going to
Yes.
ask you this question because you said you wanted clarity. What kind of clarity as an outcome would make you feel satisfied after 4 or 5 minutes?
I I would want to just know what my truth is. If there
Mm,
is actually fear or avoidance or that's actually blocking me from doing the thing that I truly feel passionate about. A lot of people have between like their passions and like it's certainly one that I have now. It's like what part of my passion is meant to be a career versus just like a
mm,
hobby that I do on the side. That's just something I
mm,
enjoy.
I hear you. And for the sake of time and
Mhm.
relevance, I'm going to ask you this question. What if you were the universe, like I asked before, as a practical advice that I gave everyone? I'm going to bring that. If you were the universe, what would you want Jimmy? Okay. So you're looking at yourself, right? What would you want Jimmy to integrate art in his life?
In every aspect of my life, probably because it's something that I really love and the universe would want me to do something that I really love. Like I felt that those words coming from my inside. Like when
Mm.
you ask that question, the words like were like it's like
Yeah.
do something that you love. That's what the universe would want from me. And it's definitely the art, the creativity, but perhaps it's not choosing just one particular thing to do the art in, but it's kind of applying that creativity and that artistry into everything that I do.
Boom.
And it doesn't have to
Mic
be one.
drop.
Wow.
Exactly.
Very cool. Yeah.
Right?
Hmm.
Another question I would ask you, it's called What If It's Possible, right? This podcast.
Yes.
What if it's possible that you bring your art right here and then you're already doing it?
Wow. That is possible. And that's the thing with everything that I'm doing right now. I feel like it is a form of my creative expression. And this is a side topic. Right? This doesn't have to be a part of the coaching conversation, but there are so many things that I want to like so many canvases that I want to
Yeah.
paint, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sure you experience this too.
Mhm.
You're very ambitious.
Mhm.
I know you. And that's the question that always comes up is like, oh, am I like missing out on this opportunity to do
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
else, something that's more fulfilling or more like, the moreness question of like, can
The
I feel more
moreness.
happy, more satisfied doing these other things versus what
Mhm.
I'm doing now? Yeah.
Yeah, because the universe wants to expand. So for everyone, obviously, we just did it as an example, as an illustration of what really happens. And of course, this again, this is just an illustration. It's very, very different. And again, it's based on questions. It's based on literally like bringing the possibilities and whatever that I am asking, I always want to bring a larger perspective, something that we don't necessarily think every day. And that's why me being cosmic and obviously having done 2 doctor degrees in the metaphysical science of consciousness, it helps. And at the same time, it doesn't have to be because the idea is listen, I'm a great singer. I've been singing my entire life. Okay. And then it's always a part of me, like you do, Jimmy. I always like, I so want to sing. Like, my Shiny One song, right? The
Yeah.
one that I
Yeah.
play. So that one, for example, like I have so many songs that I have written. And I know that there is a time that is going to merge with all my neuroshine technology because my songs they don't have to be different than what I'm doing. So the reason why I even asked you that question, like the universe, like what would universe want out of you? What if you would just put everything in an artful way into what you're doing and make it a little task, underneath, and it just becomes one? Because that's the oneness that the universe also wants from us. We want to expand because the universe keeps expanding. And when we understand that the universe itself is just figuring itself out, how about that?
Yeah.
And then
How
we
about
are
that?
Literally, we are helping universe to experience itself through us. Okay? We're partnering up. And that's the whole thing with coaching, with my Neuroshine coaching, the Neuroshine technology in the way that I taught it. It is actually the new human operating system. Coaching is a tool that helps me install my operating system. Okay. Because it's not about coaching. It's not about this and that. It's about who we are and then who we become. I want to become a better human. I want to become a better version of myself. You do, right, Jimmy? That's the whole point. Coaching just makes you become a better person. And then at the end, as a cherry on top, you're certified. You know how human mind works, and then you can actually use words to influence and then to help people get better results, live better lives, live in alignment with their truth. You know, that's my slogan, align with your truth. That's the whole idea. So I hope whoever is watching is taking this away from this conversation. Like at the end of the day, it's your life, and this life is what you make of it. It's your game. And this whole world is a stage. And you're the actor, producer, designer, writer, singer, all of it. And that's
Uh,
why whatever that we have, we want to put them all together. They're all the colors in the rainbow. And art is just one color. Singing is just one color. What if it's possible that we get to put all the colors in the rainbow and then we just express it as one, as who we are?
beautifully said. Wow, that clip right there was like that's the whole episode. Like I should have jumped right to that. Like I'm gonna cut everything else out and just take that one clip. The I also just want to touch on the fact that we all have we all know our truth.
Mm-hmm.
We all have the
Yeah.
information. Like that just came out of me. Like you didn't tell me anything, you
Yeah.
know. You just asked me a question and I had that answer. And it's just
Yep.
sometimes buried underneath our thinking mind that's just rattling
Yes.
around. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. That's the thing. Like I always think about it. Think of your truth that you brought when you came to this world. It was the diamond that you were carrying, but and then life happened. So that diamond got buried under so many dust.
Uh,
The life is the dust. And that's why we got to do the decluttering. That's why coaching works. That's why somebody holding the space, honoring your truth, not controlling you, not trying to tell you what to do. When you are just in the safe place to fall, just dig deep into your truth, the magic happens because you then get to declutter and clean up all the mess, all the automations and then conditioning and then programming of life. You're like, oh my God, I always had the diamond. Getting goosebumps.
mm,
Here's my diamond, I found it. And then you literally found, like, you find it. You literally find, because it's already inside of you. That's the game we're playing. Finding your truth that you already know, that you already brought to life when you chose to come to this lifetime, this incarnation. It's a matter of really like becoming one with it and then living it and becoming your best version that you're
yeah.
meant to
And
be.
this is the definition of empowerment and all those things. And that's why I love about coaching is because it empowers them to have their own answers. And you don't
Mm-hmm.
need a guru or any other source outside of yourself to tell you what you need to do next or what is best for
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
This has been fantastic. Thank you so much, Shiny, for your time. Maybe if I can ask you one last question to close this out. If
Absolutely.
there was, after all the coaching, all the experience that you have, what is one myth that you want to set straight for everyone watching, listening right now?
The myth is that the wordiness depends on something. That's the myth. That's the biggest myth that I would want to bust. The old myth says that you need to do so much to be worthy of love. You need to do or say or sacrifice your truth to be worthy of someone else's love or your own love. That's what I want to bust. Because this whole game of life is literally awakening to the truth that we are so worthy. The word in self worth is that diamond that we brought when we came to this life. We chose this life. I know I'm thinking and talking and giving a lot of like cosmic stuff. It just is the truth that I believe in because we all have this soul, this light within us, that cosmic light. That cosmic light is that crystallized version of you that has all the worthiness, that has all the answers, because that is your truth. With the moment we realize that we are worthy of everything. We are worthy of love, abundance, magic, all the amazing high frequency emotions that we came to here to experience. When we just have that shift, the entire game changes. So that's the myth I want to bust, the self-worth. We all have it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Instead of chasing it, we already have it, and everything you do is just doing just to further an agenda or to further your life. But everyone is
Yeah,
already worthy exactly where they are.
yeah, yeah,
Wow, there's so many gems in this episode. I feel like I could talk to you for several more hours about because
yeah.
it's
Same.
fun. It's fun. I've had a
It is.
really fun time going through this journey. If and the time flew by. I can't believe we're here. But if people are interested in learning more about neuroscience technology, about you, Shiny, where can they go? What's the best place for them to find you?
Best place would be my website and social media. They can go to neuroshinetechnology.com and then there is a /coach. That specific page is designed to inform you about what we do. And I am not the only one right now. I was just telling Jimmy, I'm not the only one teaching my neuroshine technology as of today. I have an entire faculty of gold heart and shiny mind faculty, and we are going to help you experience what we are talking about here. Just go to neuroshinetechnology.com /coach, and then you will see what we are doing and hundreds of people who have gone through the journey, liberated, and they're part of our mission right now, making a wave of change, the ripple effect of change and growth and conscious evolution. You can also go to my social media. It is Dr. Shiny Unsal on Instagram and Neuroshine Technology on Instagram. I have 2 Instagrams. And when you go to LinkedIn, for example, again, I do have my Dr. Shiny Unsal personal profile and Neuroshine Technology LinkedIn page that you can also look for. And shinyunsal.com is my personal website, if that also helps.
No, it's fantastic. And so go feel free to check out Shiny if you want to learn more about the amazing stuff that she's doing. What is your I guess what is the next step for this program? Is it to bring in more training students? Is it retreats? What are you producing next?
Yes, this program is for anybody who is interested in becoming a better human, as we discussed, and learning more about your conditioned and then programmed patterns that you're not even aware and you want to experience, you're willing to experience, you're willing to look in the mirror and experience. It is a 10-week program to go through that. And if you also want to get that global accreditation from the International Coaching Federation, that is also possible. So, but that's a cherry on top. So you can also receive your ICF credential as a coach. And then you can actually go create a coaching business out of it and start making money as you make your difference in the world. Because there is also the coaching business school that I have as part of this program. And inside the coaching business school, because it is AI powered, I have AI prompts, the skills to set you up for success as a business owner. You can literally create your ideal, like clarify your ideal client and create your irresistible offer, and then package them all with your own message aligned with your truth, and then graduate with a live sales page. Yep. With AI right now, it is possible under 10 minutes. Like I can show you how to create a live sales page, and then you graduate ready to accept payments for the difference that you make in the world. That's also possible.
Yeah. Thank you so much. My personal opinion is that everyone should learn coaching. I think
Yeah.
every single human, you can be a better boss when you know how to work and like talk to your people through coaching, through language, be a better
Yeah.
parent, be a better
Yeah.
friend. You
Yeah.
have no idea how many people like just enjoy talking to me because I ask them the right questions and they walk away and they're like,
Right?
huh,
Yeah.
that's it. I just figured something out. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
Totally. And
amazing.
that's
Well,
what I want everyone. I want everyone to live aligned with their truth. That's it.
okay. I think that's where this episode ends. I'm shutting everything off. Thank you. Thank
That's
you
it.
so that is beautiful. That is the cherry. Thank you for the cherry. That was the shiny ending that we absolutely needed. It was so nice to reconnect with you, Shiny. It's so nice to see you. Thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your shine and
My
talking about your
pleasure.
programs and
My
all the amazing
pleasure.
stuff that you're doing.
Jimmy, I am also very grateful to be here, and I want to thank you for the work that you are doing. Obviously, you are a living example of what's possible, right? Exactly when you just choose the path of excitement, your truth, and what excites your soul when you go after what you want, and just like that heart and mind connection, you're a beautiful living example of what's possible, right? But if it's possible. So, thank you for doing this, and thank you for sharing the light, doing this partnership. I am very, very thankful. Thank you. Keep shining your light.
You too. Until we see, maybe I'll see you in the future in Istanbul. But
Yes.
thank you so much. This is amazing. And for anyone who enjoyed this episode and you think someone else needs to hear it or see it, feel free to follow, subscribe, follow Shiny as well, and send this video out to anyone who you think could benefit from it. It helps the work
Yes.
that we do. The work that we do is very much to help the world be a
Yeah.
better place than it is already. So that's what our motivation is here. So if you want to support that work, we'd really appreciate it for sure.
Exactly.
Cool.
Exactly. And thank you, everyone. Again, until next time, keep shining your light.
Cool. Thank you, Shiny. Thank you, everyone.
Bye bye.